What's up, guys, and welcome back to Olympus, or welcome to Olympus if you are new around here. Today's episode is another one of our coffee chat sessions. We do not have a coffee today, so I've decided to come into my garden. I guess you could count this as another one of the nature navigation ones. But today's video is all about why exercise is the equivalent of a superpower for people. Okay, so I'm sure you're aware already that exercise is very important for you, but probably more aware of the physical benefits that you get, because you get better shape, you get bigger muscles, you get stronger, you look better in the mirror, you generally feel. But there's also the mental benefits as well you're probably aware of, in terms of like you just feel better. But some of those are tied to the physical benefits in that you just feel better physically, so you're less anxious and nervous and you feel a bit more capable, but we'll get a bit more into those in a moment. But a phrase I have used before to describe the gym is that it is the closest that humans have got to making a bottle o' happiness factory. Bottle o' happiness, just because it sounds better than bottle of happiness, doesn't it? So, why is this? Well, there's a few reasons for this. The first off is that we will begin with the boring basic biology, which is essentially that exercising releases endorphins, and it releases dopamine into your brain, which is your brain's happiness chemical. So it just makes you feel good and makes you happier. Just that's science. So now, the next bits I can only really comment on from a male perspective, but I assume the same is true for women as well. And that is, for me, well, after a good gym session, I've gone in there, I've pushed hard, I've got maybe set a couple of new PBs and a few lifts. I feel more capable and just stronger generally. That makes me feel better. I just feel like I'm sat around, I just feel a lot better after a gym session. And that's a really good thing. And then the thing number 3 is that, especially if you work out in a public gym, but you could just do it in, like, if you run around the park. Not like you can run around in any way you want, really. Basically, you'll get some small social interactions in there. You might say hello to a couple of people, if you're working next to someone on a machine, you might have a quick conversation with them. If someone's using a machine you might ask them how many sets they've got left. And those small interactions are really good, especially, again, talking from a male perspective. Brotherhood is a really important thing, so having that level of social interaction is important, and it does make you feel good. It also reduces your anxiety around talking to people, I've found. So that does bring us on to the next question then, which is, what is the best way to train? There's not really a right answer. There's not really one way to train that's better for everybody. It's incredibly subjective because lots of different things get taken into account. Genetics might get taken into account in terms of what your body will respond best to. There's goals as well, so what your goals for the gym are, and then your personal preferences in terms of different training techniques and different exercises, and then many, many more things. Personally, I found that Olympic lifts and compound movements really make me feel the most alive, make me feel the best, and I think they make my physique look pretty good as well. But the best form is essentially what will ever make you feel the most alive. This could be a hypertrophy-focused workout plan, so you basically do like a lot of reps and a lot of sets for for lesser weight than you would typically use if you were pushing for, say, like these Olympic lifts and compound moves. So you do, say, like 5 sets of 5 in those, or 3 sets of 3, or 4 sets of 8 or something. Whereas compound moves, you could do a 4 set of 8, but you typically do like 3 sets of 15, and really focus on accentuating the stretch and time under tension and stuff to get the most growth out of your muscles, because in a hypertrophy thing, you're just going for muscle growth normally. It could be combat focused training, so you'd maybe have a couple of days where you do some sort of sparring, whether that be in boxing, MMA, jiu-jitsu, karate, other ones are available. It could be, I think I said boxing, it could be kickboxing, basically any of those. Then you'd train and be geared more towards that to get you good at that. So you'd be on the explosivity movements. You've got athletic focus, so what I categorise this as is basically just any training you do for a sport. Could be a football focused thing, so you'd have a couple of football sessions, then you'd get you gym training around that. Could be a rugby thing, could be American football, dodgeball, basketball, basically any sport you want to do. It could also be yoga, could be Pilates as well. There could also be group sessions such as High Rocks or CrossFit training. It could just be running. You could join a local run club, could run on the street. You could get a bike, as you can see I've got mine there, which I do use occasionally. not as often as I'd like to, but I do use it occasionally. Just go off on bike rides as well, gets you out in nature and really good. I find as well with cardio, if I do it outside, I actually really enjoy it. So when I do my bike rides, I have a lot of fun riding that bike. Where is it? That bike. But if I try to cycle in the gym, I get bored of doing the steady state cardio in the gym. But doing it outside makes me feel good. So my advice here will just be test out a few of the different ones I've mentioned and just see what your body and brain respond best to. And then another consideration is kind of the physique you want. So my personal goal is a physique similar to Kratos from the modern games, 2018 or 2022, or Brock Lesnar for a real life person. So that's how I've geared my training, and that's my program has been built to get me closer to that goal. But if you could say have the goal of Brad Pitt in Fight Club or Brad Pitt in Snatch, maybe a non-Brad Pitt related person, so Arnold Schwarzenegger from like the 70s or 80s, maybe modern Arnie. Stallone as well is another good one that people tend to like. It doesn't really matter who it is. The point is, it's a person you're like, right, that is a physique I like. How would I get to that physique? And then, yeah, you just kind of build your training from there. And if you want a bit of assistance with this, I am developing a couple of guides to do with building a physique. It'll be geared towards building the most attractive physique possible for men. Obviously, the guy had kind of my forte. So, yeah, those will be available, so you can subscribe to make sure you don't miss out on those. But yeah, that's all for this video. So if you have enjoyed it, be sure to give it a thumbs up, and click subscribe, and let me know your favourite exercise down below, and one that gives you the biggest bottle of happiness possible. But that is all for now, so thank you for watching, and we'll see you later. Welcome to Olympus.